Alright, I'm in a totally different area here. I'm in an area that's called Vesuvius, spelled with a V, Vesuvius. And I'm actually on top of the parkway here. Decided to check this area out for the first time. I'll be checking out a couple different areas here. Trying to get a feel for this terrain in here. The reason I'm here is because this is another location I've heard too many stories about. Too many reports, too many sightings. Well, you can never have too many. But felt that it was definitely worth checking out. As you take a look around, you see there's a lot of big vines right here hanging from a lot of these trees. A lot of thick brush in here. Got some pines, gum trees. And judging from the ground, looking at all these impressions, a lot of wildlife in here. See a lot of deer sign. What do we have here? Not sure. That could be very deceiving. Almost looks like a possible track. A little hard to tell though. No, I'm being honest, it's a little hard to tell. But I definitely see the deer sign in here. A lot of deer sign. See, look, right here. Looks like we got another one. Another possible track right here. Clean the debris away. See, we might have something there. Don't really know. I'm gonna try to look around the best I can here, and then see what we come up with. Well, let's see what we got here. We got a skull. Yeah. It was part of a deer. Notice the front is I found deer skulls like this before. Look at that, it's been pretty well mangled. Loose cartilage. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, this ground is very promising for tracks. I'm seeing all kinds of other wildlife in here. Got a bear track right here. It's old, but it's a bear track. Ooh, wet and muddy. I love wet and muddy spots. What kind of tracks we might have over here? A lot of deer. Some nice size looking deer tracks. Of course, we all know what we're after. We're all looking for squatch tracks. Definitely not seeing no squatch tracks at the moment. Ooh, it's soft. I am sinking in right there. We're going to stay away from some of this area. I'm sinking in. And like I said, you can see how thick it is in here. A little challenging in this area. Got water flowing from different directions here. Water coming out of the ground from several areas here, merging into one stream. So, you know, when you got areas like this here, this is where all the wildlife, they know where to come. Areas like these are usually pretty well abundant, full of wildlife, and I've seen tons of different animal tracks, impressions of deer, bear. I believe I even seen coyote. And I'm sure there's a few in between. Some of the tracks were slightly unidentifiable. Oh, and I am seriously sinking in. I got to get on some solid ground. This is not easy. I'm really sinking in right here, and I'm not trying to get stuck. So I got to watch myself here. So yeah, if a squatch came through here, we're going to see some deep tracks right here because I'm sinking in. Areas like this, being up high, looking down at a beautiful scenery, these are kind of areas I like to scan and zoom in and see if you might just so happen to catch a squatch just working the area. You never know. Well, I was on top of the parkway. I was in Vesuvius, checking out the area up there, and checking out the overlook, and scanning from up above, looking down into the valley, scanning the tree lines, zooming in with my camcorder, and now I'm down in the George Washington National Forest. Right outside of Fred's camp. For those who know Fred Canny, I camp here often myself. I do a lot of hiking in here, and I haven't been in here in a little bit, so I'm visiting the area. So now check this out. We got some stuff here. Now I will say there's a lot of down trees here. We've got a lot of rain, storms, winds, and the storms brought down quite a bit. But I want to point out a couple things here in the area. We got some very strong, fresh trees here. Now, possibility the wind could have done this, but look at this. I'm just going to share this with you. You can draw your own conclusions, or if you think something else has done this, or was that part of nature. Then you got this right here. Broken snap back going back the other way. Over here, this is what I find interesting, because it looks like it has a twist to it. Right here. Let's come on the other side of it. Yeah, look at this. That's very fresh. See how the tree came up and got it appears to have been twisted this way. That's my opinion. So I don't know, we're gonna go check back here. I haven't been back here in a while. We're gonna go see what we can come across. All right. Well, this is an old rock stack, part of an experiment I've done, and in the past I was getting a lot of interaction from this, from the rocks being misplaced, not misplaced, but in just different positions. And I had a feather involved with this. The feather was taken and moved, and I think we're gonna start this back up here, but I'm gonna probably move it back a little further. And notice right here, see, there's been a buck in the area here. So yeah, we've had a buck right here taking care of his antlers. But yeah, we're gonna play around with this rock stack, get this experiment going again. And we're going to start checking on this every so often. And for those who are new and are not familiar with this area, this is up behind the camp. You see, this area's got a lot of mountain laurel in it. And if you're listening very carefully, the water is flowing real hard right now, and the stream of the creek it runs right beside Fred's camp. And it's coming down pretty good. I can hear the water flowing because there's a lot of high water in the area. Some parts of the forest are a little wet and flooded. But this very same area, we've had a lot of activity out here. Responses from tree knocks. So we're going to really check this area out. We're going to do, like I said, we're going to start the rock stack experiment all over again. I'm going to set it back a little further and see what we can do. It's a fun little project. It's easy to do. You check on it every so often to see if there's been interaction, anything changes on it. People like to do this with teepee structures. Some people like to lean sticks up against trees, going around a tree, and see if there's anything been taken or added. Those are fun to do too. They're simple, safe experiments you can do in nature. If you're bigfooting, check it out. I mean, it's worth trying. If you do come across that, you know, and notice that has been changed, do know that there's something interacting with it. And we can't say for sure Bigfoot's doing it because we're not observing it, but all we can do is look for change and say, well, at least we know there's activity here, you know. So let's go from there, and I'm gonna scan the area here after a while. I'm gonna check it out here. As you see, there's a lot of broken trees from the storms and the winds. But we're going to check out the area around here, see if we come across anything good here. Alright, and here we are. The rock stack was over there. We moved it roughly a good 20-25 feet back here. Alright, so as you see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 stones stacked on, we got 4 stones stacked. And I left this back one here. There's a 5th one right there. I left it there laying flat. So we're going to check on this. Alright. So yeah, we're going to check on that later on. See if anything's come through this area here that decided to want to play around with it. So again, it's a fun project. I advise you to try it. If you've got an active area where you know there's been activity and you found tracks in those areas, go ahead and do it. It's worth it. Just checking this area out here. It looks like it's almost been logged. But I see there's been a lot of controlled burning in this area here. I see a lot of burnt stuff in here. So I thought I'd come check it out. See if there's anything good back here. Yeah, these are the tree breaks I like to find, especially when there's nothing on top of it that came down and broke it. That's a tree. Look at, oh yeah, look at this. It's got a twist to it. Right here it's been twisted. When this has been brought down, broke and twisted, that's what snapped this out here. So, yeah. For those who don't know, these breaks right here are not weather based. Tell you, you got to know what you're looking for. This is not from weather. This has been broke down with force and with a twist. Now, earlier you may have seen I usually work in areas with a lot of pines. As you know, I'm in an area with a lot of hardwood. So, alright, here's a quick question for those who might be wondering. There's some people out there that are not familiar with wood. What's a hardwood? Oaks, maples, some of these gum trees, but right here I have a lot of oaks, white oaks in this area. There's a very few maples in here. That's just an example of some hardwood. What's softwood? You got softwood, pine, cedar. There's just a quick example of some softwood. So the pine is a very soft wood. So, and I'm seeing a lot of small little breaks in here. Just to give you guys a heads up, like I'm looking at 1, 2 right here in front of each other. 3, actually 3 right here, 1, 2, 3. And these little saplings here, a lot of times these are from bears playing around. So, and I'm just trying to, this area here, this is kind of a new area here, and I'm scouting it out, checking it out. Trying to see if there's anything worth showing. I mean, I see some old twisted tree. I see an old twisted tree right here. It's not a big tree, but it's old and it's twisted, and I'll show you that here very shortly. Yeah, some of the old trees, even though this is an old one, this is kind of an obvious tree right here. Let me turn the camera around. There we go. And you can see this is old. It's been this way for quite a while. You can see right here, how obvious that twist is. So this is old, an old gum tree. And here we are on an old logging road. I tell you what, you can't ask for a better day than today for this time of year to be out here enjoying the outdoors. Nature is beautiful. Looks like we might have a track right here. I don't know if you can see this. Maybe not. Heel. Looks like we got a toe. Looks like one of the toes are showing. And it looks like another step right here. Heel. And I guess that's where the toes go. I don't see no toe impressions. We're looking at about 11-12 inches. So we got a track right there. I'm going to put my foot right next to it. Got that track right there. Alright. I'm stretching a little bit. That's not my normal stride. So I don't know, we might have something there. Back up a little bit here. See the angle of that, it looks like it's came over here through the leaves. But I almost look like I see a slight indentation right there. As you see, there's a lot of leaves in here, but there's areas like this is where I like to look, because with the ground exposed, it's hard to tell. Looks like there might have been other tracks here, but they're all washed out and diluted. I am surprised I'm not seeing nothing around the mud in the sand here. Pretty cool looking through here. All kinds of trees down. A lot of broken stuff from the storms and weather. But with all the storms and there's tons of trees down, broken limbs everywhere. I mean, tons of them. Now, for a good friend of mine, here's a question, and this goes out for anybody, but I'll direct it to Fred, and Fred, you can answer this. As far as all the broken trees and the snaps and the weird twists from all the storm damage, wouldn't you find it challenging to tell the difference between the destruction of weather versus the destruction of what a squatch or other wildlife would do? Wouldn't you find that challenging? Because I observed so much destruction from the weather, from the storms and the rain. Some of these tree breaks are fresh, they're twisted, the way the trees and the limbs snap and fall from the momentum. Some of them get twisted as they fall down. I find that very, very challenging to distinguish between a squatch and weather. That's why I know, that's why I personally stress that to a lot of people, that we got to be careful about what we claim. But what's your take on that, Fred?